Take a bow, take a bow. Good morning. Welcome to GOOF, Greenville Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Ward Hammond, and I serve this congregation on the Sunday Services Committee. I also lead our meditation circle, facilitate the humanist discussion group. I just came from there. We had 12 people, a lively discussion on AI in medicine. So join us. I also play sax and guitar in the band, Heretics, with Dionisio. And if any of these areas interest you, grab me after the service. Young or old, new or long-time member, there is a place for you to plug in at GOOF. So whether you've been with us on Sundays for a long time or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to our service. This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community, open to all who embrace our principles, mission, and values. We are a welcoming congregation. I mean, that's official. To all people, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, race, ethnicity, or ability. We unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self to this community, where we care about one another and commit to growing together as spiritual and moral beings. Our mission is to strengthen our connections to one another and our planet by enlivening minds and spirits, building a community through liberating love, and advocating fiercely for justice. It is our custom here to acknowledge visitors and newcomers. If that describes you, please raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. Thanks so much for all of you being here. You're invited to join us for coffee after the service. New and newer folks can grab a green mug located just inside the door of the fellowship hall. Just follow the crowd. So you can easily, we want to be able to spot you and speak to you during coffee hour. You're also welcome to fill out one of the little golden cards that can be found in the back of the pews so that we can keep in touch with you. Simply drop the card in the offering basket or in the box down at the welcoming table. Please know that whatever your religious history, whatever your personal theology, all people of goodwill are welcome here. Your presence makes us better. Your presence makes us whole. Our service will now begin.
Good morning. I'm Gail Glover, your worship associate this morning, and our chalice lighting today is in honor of Veterans Day, and it's adapted from words by Cynthia Landrum. In honor of those who have served and those who continue to serve at home and abroad for peace and in war, we light our chalice and we offer our thanks. And for the families of those who have served and those who continue to serve, we recognize their shared commitment to our country, so we light our chalice to honor them as well, and we offer our thanks.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, What a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They are really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Good morning, Goof. I'm the Reverend Chris Hockman. Continuing on the chalice lighting words that Gail shared with us, I would like to acknowledge any currently serving members or veterans of our armed forces. Ask you to stand to be acknowledged or to raise your hand. On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank you for your service. Also, we had a good time on Thursday night. It was the Community Problems Assembly for Goal, our Greenville Organized for Accountable Leadership, our multi-faith social justice initiative, of which Goof is a part of a 30-congregation group to help create justice in Greenville. And y'all gave me bragging rights again, because we had the highest attendance of any congregation there. So I would like to thank our team lead. Are any of our team leaders in the room? I think they're just busy and tired. They might not be in the room. Any of them here? There's one. There's Lynn's back there. I'd like to extend a thank you to our team leaders, and if you are interested in learning more about participating in Goal, go find Lynn, and she'll be happy to tell you about it. So you're making me a very proud minister, in addition to all of the great work Goal does to make Greenville a more just community. All right, our call to worship this morning is from the Reverend Michelle Collins. We arrive carrying the familiar ache of not enough time, not enough rest, not enough certainty about what comes next. But here in the space between one breath and another, something small and persistent whispers, you are held. We come from days that felt too ordinary to notice, commutes and meetings, dishes and deadlines, the unremarkable hours that make up most of living. But buried in the mundane lie small miracles we walk past without seeing. Some of us learn to count blessings on our fingers, others to whisper thanks to ancestors or earth or sky. We carry different languages of gratitude, different ways of recognizing what sustains us. All of them are welcome here. Please rise in body and spirit, and let us sing.
Good morning. I'm David Funderburk. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at GOOF. I have one little announcement. As most of you know, every fourth Wednesday of the month, we have a food gathering. That's a friendly UU dinner. And this month, to not conflict with Thanksgiving, we're going to do it a week early on the third Wednesday of the month, on the 19th. So that means our RSVP form is already open. So if you'd like to come join us for food this month on the 19th, please look for the food flyers in the hallway on the bulletin board and scan the code there so you can RSVP. So now I'd like to welcome any children or youth or anyone of any age who'd like to come up and hear our story up close to come sit in the front pews or at the floor on the base of the steps. Welcome. So this month, our theme for our services is gratitude. And this month is also Native American Heritage Month. And since our congregation here sits on land that is traditionally, historically, home of the Cherokee, today's book will let us explore a Cherokee perspective on gratitude. This book's called We Are Grateful, or Ojali Heliga, by Tracy Sorrell and Frane Lesac. Cherokee people say, Ojali Heliga. Can you say that with me? Ojali Heliga. To express gratitude. It is a reminder to celebrate our blessings and reflect on struggles, daily, throughout the year, and across the seasons. first season will be fall. And the Cherokee word for that is uligo husty. When cool breezes blow and leaves fall, we say ojali heliga. As shell shakers dance all night around the fire, and burnt cedar's scent drifts upward during the great new moon ceremony. As we clean our houses, wear new clothes, enjoy a feast, and forget old quarrels to welcome the Cherokee New Year. While we collect buckbrush and honeysuckle to weave baskets, to remember our ancestors who suffered hardship and loss on the Trail of Tears, and have hope as our Elisi, or grandma, cradles the newest member of the family and reveals his Cherokee name. And then there's Gola, or winter. As bears sleep deep and snow blankets the ground, we say, Ojali Heliga. While elders share stories and we savor buttery bean bread and steamy hominy soup, when we feed our animal and bird friends, as older children teach the younger ones how to make corn husk dolls and play cane flutes. While we gather to remember an uncle who has passed on, as men cuddle babies and sing traditional lullabies in Jalagi, or Cherokee. And then there's Gogei, or spring. When showers fill streams and shoots spring up, we say, Ojali Heliga. While men sing, asking for thunder and lightning's protection of the emerging sprouts that women tend, as we gather wild onions, spring's first food, and serve them with hens' eggs, as we practice patience to sew pucker toe moccasins and coil clay to build beautiful pots. As we plant ani, or strawberries, an ancestral story's sweet-smelling reminder not to argue with each other, as we embrace a clan relative heading off to serve our country. And then we have Gogi, or summer. As the crops mature and the sun scorches, we say, Ojali Heliga. When we grasp our gigs and wade into the cool creek to catch crawdads for supper, as we sink our teeth into the season's first harvest at the green corn ceremony, while we click-clack sticks, chase a small ball, and fling it high at the stickball game pole. When we recall the ancestors' sacrifices to preserve our way of life, to celebrate Nulista Nidola, or history, and listen to our tribal leaders speak at Cherokee National Holiday. Every day, every season, Ojali Heliga, we are grateful. Now, often when a book has some extra interesting information in the back, and this one even has a list of the Cherokee syllabary, if you'd like to learn a little bit about how to read Cherokee. I'm going to leave this book at coffee hour if you'd like to look at it a little more. So thank you for listening. And if you let me get ahead of you, you can follow me and we can go to your classes this morning.
Today is Share the Plate Sunday, and half of today's offering will be shared with our community partner, Soteria. Did I say that right? Soteria. Yes? Should have practiced better. Soteria CDC empowers and assists formerly incarcerated individuals in the upstate by offering training in financial planning, goal setting, and positive decision making, along with job training and affordable housing. If you are contributing your pledge today, please be sure to write pledge on your check or your cash envelope, because all other funds will be split 50-50 with our Share the Plate recipient. And since this is an initiative that emphasizes sharing, please do not write checks directly to the charity. And now the offering will be gratefully received. It is our custom in this fellowship to share the joys and the sorrows that shape our lives, honoring each one with the lighting of a candle. We all have moments of celebration and struggle. By sharing these experiences with one another, we can support and uplift each other in our journeys. First, we have a candle of concern for Al Klein, our movie impresario, offered up by all the movie fans and Dee Wilder. They say that Al Klein has traveled to Maine to see his mother, as he has done many times, and possibly for the last time. So travel safely, Al. We need you here. We also have an unsigned concern. My heart is heavy with concern for our Title I school student population. There are many folks in our community already dealing with food and financial insecurity, trying to remember the helpers and those making a choice to step up and help with hard problems by doing hard work. And we have, from Pat Cheney, special thanks to Karen Pierre-Williams, Janet Aguilar, Marcia Wong, and Jacqueline Bissonette for everything they do for Food Not Bombs on a weekly basis. And here is a joy by Ken Elder. Today is my 86th birthday, and I am feeling great. Woohoo, he says. Happy birthday, Ken. And another birthday. It's hard to believe, but our baby girl Lauren turned 39 last week. That's from Richard Fuller and Candy Kern. And now from Candy, joy and concern. Joyful that we sold our old business building in Easley on Friday. We had bought it from the Rowleys in 2009. It's a concern because I loved that 104-year-old building and will miss it dearly. And from the Building and Grounds Committee, thank you to everyone who came to the Building and Grounds workday yesterday. Many hands make less work. Thanks to Ernie Glenn, Lori Morton, Stephen Chapp, David Frick, Denise Frick, Mary Wetzel, Diego Montoya, Pat Cheney, Victor Garcia, Steve Harold, Anna Jo Powell, Angie Atkins, and Letitia Short from the Building and Grounds Committee. Wow. And now, we will light one final candle representing all the joys and sorrows present in our hearts that remain unspoken. We'll now observe a brief moment of silence before the meditation words begin.
Our meditation words today are from the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that informs our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and disenfranchisement of our people that foments our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given, the reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside with all the holy nudges that we need, so we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given, so we may be the blessings in this world. We often imagine that gratitude is reserved for the big things in life: our health, our employment, roofs over our heads, food to eat, our families, and our friends. And those are all great things to have gratitude for. Yet, as we move through the rhythms of our daily lives, it is actually within the ordinary, seemingly unremarkable moments that the true power of gratitude reveals itself. And if we take that gratitude and pair it with mindfulness, gratitude has the possibility of transforming the mundane into fulfilling experience, opening our hearts to beauty and contentment right where we are in the here and now. Now, in our world of endless distractions and increasingly higher expectations, many of us feel as though we are constantly searching for something more. We rush from task to task. We long for completion and satisfaction. We wait for the weekends, that is, if we're not working on the weekends, and we yearn for the next big thing. Or maybe we're just yearning for a break, a time to slow it all down. But what, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, I told you that you've had the power to do that all along, not through a pair of ruby slippers that will send you home. There is a way you can get the break, the slowdown, the contentment that is already accessible for you, quietly waiting to be discovered in your morning cup of coffee, a shared smile with a stranger, or the gentle sound of rain against the window. Yes, indeed, we have had it all along. We just fail to notice it. So today we're exploring the relationship between gratitude, ordinary moments, and mindfulness, examining how cultivating gratitude in our daily lives can reshape our mindset, deepen our appreciation for life, and lead to greater happiness and resilience. So at its very core, gratitude, we know what it means. It's basically the simple recognition and appreciation of the good in our lives. It is more than just a polite habit or a social nicety, as we often take it to mean as kids when we're being taught to say please and thank you. But it's actually gratitude is a powerful emotional state, and it's a mental practice that can shape our whole worldview. Gratitude is the ability to notice and value the positive, even when it's really hard, right? Even amid challenges and many of life's imperfections. So I know I've said before that research in psychology, this isn't just woo-woo wishful thinking we're talking about. Research in psychology indicates that gratitude is closely linked to higher levels of well-being. People who actively practice gratitude report increased happiness, better relationships, improved physical health, and greater resilience in the face of adversity. It does not grow your hair back or make you physically more attractive, but it does a lot of other things really well. Gratitude goes beyond simply counting our blessings. It's about shifting our focus from what is missing to what is already here, or what we would call from a scarcity mindset or the glass half empty mindset to the abundance mindset, which is the glass half full, or as we talk about in Starting Point, this is a beautiful glass mentality. Why then does gratitude feel so far from reach in our daily lives? Well, the answer is it lies in our tendency to overlook the very ordinariness. We are wired, and it's not our fault. We are wired by evolution to notice threats and problems, right? This is how our brains work. It's their default system. But this bias, it doesn't really help us much anymore, because we're not running from lions and tigers on a daily basis. But this bias is still in us, and what it does to us in today's world is it manifests chronic dissatisfaction, restlessness, and anxiety. And that's on a good day, right? Throw in our cultural, societal, and governmental chaos we've all got going on right now. all of this regular dissatisfaction and restlessness and anxiety just gets amplified. It gets amplified, and it needs a place to go. And sometimes it comes along with us to church, of all places. So we've got to be somewhat vigilant. You know, it's normal to be anxious in these times. How could you not be? But we often don't make good choices when they are made based on our anxiety and our runaway emotions. You know, when they're the driving force, when we've been hijacked, you know, not such a good idea. But overtaken by anxiety, restlessness, or just plain old busyness, we're often unable to see the things that do work. We don't see the things that do work because they are disguised. They are disguised as the familiar. All of those people and those things that quietly support us, and we don't notice them until, in fact, often when they're gone, right? So gratitude, when practiced intentionally, it helps us correct this built-in bias in our brains, this inbuilt negative bias. It invites us to pause and see the richness of our everyday existence. So then there's mindfulness. Mindfulness is the act of paying attention to the present moment, usually non-judgmentally, with openness. So mindfulness is really foundational to practicing gratitude. Mindfulness involves slowing down, noticing what's happening inside us, around us, and allowing ourselves to really fully experience the here and now. So gratitude and mindfulness, they are really intimately connected. Mindfulness grounds us in the present, while gratitude reveals what is precious about the present. When these two practices are combined, they turn ordinary moments, like driving to work, cooking a meal, folding laundry. They take these ordinary moments and tasks and make them into opportunities for appreciation and even for joy. Yet, if this was easy, we'd all be doing it all the time, right? Both of these practices require effort and intention, and they are also skills that can be cultivated with practice. So think about an ordinary morning. This is not everybody's ordinary morning, but imagine you wake up, perhaps a little bit groggy, and you start your daily routine. Maybe you make coffee or tea. You feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. Outside, the rising sunlight filters through the window. Now, those are great times for gratitude and mindfulness. Now, I know that not everyone has a morning wake-up time like this. Children and pets don't always allow for it, but you kind of get the idea. Instead, your mindfulness time might be nap time, or when you walk the dog, that might wake you up at 6 in the morning. But ordinary times that could become mindful times. And all of these moments, these mundane moments, they are not the moments in life that make headlines or fill your photo albums, yet they are how we spend almost all of our time. These moments are so plentiful, right? We don't want to, let them go to waste. So the practice of gratitude is about noticing and cherishing ordinary moments. It's about recognizing what often slips into the background of daily life. Its sights, its sounds, its smells, its sensations, all of which are opportunities for appreciation. When we pause to notice the ordinary, we disrupt our brain's autopilot, which our brain's autopilot is going to go negative. But by noticing the ordinary, we disrupt that process. We step back from our relentless pursuit of the next thing, and we reconnect with what is here right now. Now, this shift can be transformative. Frustrations and worries lessen, and space is created, right? Space is created to fill it with contentment and joy. So, as I mentioned earlier, all of these studies have shown that gratitude and mindfulness also these practices yield significant benefits for mental, emotional, and even physical health. The studies on mindfulness practices, such as meditation, mindful breathing, or simply paying attention to your senses, They also reduce anxiety, improve focus, enhance overall well-being. When gratitude is practiced mindfully, the effects are just simply amplified. You learn to be present with what is good, even when you feel surrounded by so much that is not good. Thankfully, our brains are remarkably adaptable. Repeated thoughts and behaviors carve new pathways in our brains. So if we habitually focus on complaints or worries, those become even more of our default setting. But if we intentionally practice gratitude and mindfulness, we strengthen our brain's actual capacity to notice and focus on the positive. So this means that over time, gratitude can become easier and more natural. You begin to see goodness in places you previously overlooked. Ordinary moments become sources of pleasure and meaning, and the search for happiness shifts from the external to the internal. When it comes to practical strategies to increase gratitude, the one people talk about the most is usually the gratitude journal, right? Most people have heard about that. But simply committing to writing down 3 gratitudes a day can make a difference. And I found if you journal your gratitudes at night, you have a whole day worth of things to journal about in the evening. It's harder, I think, to do them in the morning because nothing's happened yet, but at the end of the day, you have all of these things to be thankful for. You can record all of the small joys, the small acts of kindness you've received or experienced throughout your day. You can also incorporate brief moments of mindfulness into your daily routine. While washing dishes, notice the sensation of warm water. While walking, pay attention to the rhythm of your steps or feeling the air on your skin. As you become present, you can ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? This simple question repeated throughout the day, it can shift your attention from autopilot to appreciation. Now, gratitude is also amplified when it's shared. So make it a habit to express genuine appreciation to those around you for their actions, their presence, or simply being who they are. A sincere thank you can deepen connections to other people, and it can also brighten someone else's ordinary moment as well as your own. So now is the time to get real. We all know that not every moment is pleasant. Life includes frustrations, it includes chores, it includes disappointments, and many things that are so much worse, right? Yet, even in discomfort, there are still opportunities for gratitude. The bad times can be good times for reframing, consciously shifting a perspective. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, shifting to what could be appreciated. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, you might notice the opportunity to listen to music, to reflect, or to observe the scenery. If you are doing tedious, boring work, you might appreciate your ability to contribute, the support of colleagues, or the feeling of accomplishment when it's finally done. Our lives are so fast-paced. It's easy to become so busy that we totally just miss out on the present altogether. Our attention is fragmented by technology, all those pinging notifications, the demands of multitasking. To cultivate gratitude, we have to create space. We have to pause, even just briefly, to notice enough, pause enough to grab onto what is good, that good thing we're not seeing. And distraction, our lives are so distracting these days. So we do have to almost have a plan to counter distractions, to make conscious time for reflection on gratitude. Sometimes we do have to turn off the devices. I've caught myself using my laptop, my tablet, and my phone all at the same time. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. But that's a great way to reduce distractions and deepen your presence in the moment. Negative emotions also get in the way of gratitude. It's natural to experience sadness and anger or disappointment. Gratitude does not require denying negative things or negative emotions, but it does allow us to hold them alongside what is positive. Something positive can coexist with what is not positive. Mindfulness teaches us to accept our feelings with compassion, while gratitude helps us see that even in hardship, there is something to appreciate. And now, this is not minimizing hardship. Hardship is real. It's not about glossing over it or denying it. It's about what could often be a survival skill of being able to see what good does exist in the face of the harshest things life throws at us. You might be grieving a loss, and the pain of grief is real, but at the same time, can you hold a space for fond memories? You might be stressed at work, yet grateful for those supportive coworkers. Acknowledging the existence of multiple truths, even if they're somewhat contradictory, is helpful. Gratitude doesn't demand false positivity or complacency in the face of injustice either. Rather, it provides strength to face challenges, recognizing what is good while working to improve what is not good. And when you cultivate gratitude, you become more resourceful, more resilient, and more generous. So you're actually better equipped to support yourself and others when experiencing injustice. So the ultimate goal is not only to practice gratitude more often, but to ultimately become overall more grateful. When gratitude becomes part of your identity, when it really just sinks in there and becomes part of you, it colors every aspect of your life. You wake each day with a sense of wonder, approach challenges with perspective, and connect with others more deeply. And mindfulness, that is the foundation of gratitude. By returning to the present again and again, you open yourself to the richness of ordinary moments, which then again opens you to more gratitude. Gratitude is also contagious. When practiced collectively, in families, in workplaces, or in religious communities, it creates a culture of appreciation. Not only just appreciation, it also creates a culture of empathy and connection. So think about ways in which you might introduce simple rituals of gratitude in various areas of your life. They do have benefits. But we must remember there is no finish line in gratitude. It's a lifelong journey, right? Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's challenging. Your relationship with gratitude will deepen and evolve as you move through different seasons of your life. Some days, gratitude flows effortlessly. On others, it requires gentle persistence. On the hardest days, simply finding one thing to appreciate can seem ridiculous, but it can make all the difference, even if it's only admitting, yeah, things could be worse. So my message for you today is to remember that your life is not measured by the number of extraordinary events you experience, but by your capacity to find gratitude in the ordinary. The true magic lies not in faraway places and peak experiences, but in the here and the now, in the taste of your food, the sound of laughter, the warmth of a hug. When you combine gratitude with mindfulness, you awaken to a world that is vibrant and meaningful and alive. You learn to cherish your journey, appreciating the unfolding of each day. This ultimately is the gift of gratitude. It's the ability to see the extraordinary in the ordinary and to live fully and gratefully, one moment at a time. And you can always, anybody, you can begin where you are with what you have and watch. And with practice, perhaps you will see the extraordinary emerge from the everyday. Life is just a simple stream of ordinary moments just waiting for you to notice them and waiting for you to enjoy them. With a little mindful gratitude, you can turn the daily grind into something more special. Now it's not easy. It takes intention, it takes some discipline, it takes some creativity, and I imagine a good sense of humor helps a lot too. But start with what's right in front of you. Embrace it. And watch out. Keep an eye open for the marvelous within the mundane. So today, may your days be packed with presence, appreciation, and the kind of joy that sneaks up on you when you least expect it, but will only happen when you are prepared to notice it. May it be so, and blessed be. All right, we're going to sing again. Please rise and body your spirit.
Please join me by saying the words on the screen as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words are also from the Reverend Michelle Collins. Our worship ends, but the practice of noticing continues. May you discover treasures hiding in tomorrow's ordinary moments. The warmth of morning coffee, a stranger's kindness, the miracle of lungs that breathe without asking. Go forth, gathering what is already there. Dear ones, go in peace, return in love, and blessed be.